All right, welcome to another episode of Can of Worms. This is Brian, and I'm here tonight with Chris and Nick.
Song. Shut up.
Nice.
And Cedric had to watch the little ones tonight, so he won't be with us. But anyway, what we're going to do is a Q&A using some Steam review questions that we would like answers to on the game Tales of Arise. Nick is our resident expert, is the only one of us who's actually played the game. Nick, you've spent about, 10 hours, you said?
Yeah, 10 so far. And just to preface, I've played every American release Tales of game. So I've played damn near every possible Tales of game. So I think I'm a resident expert.
And just to reveal your bias on this, you do enjoy Tales. As a
Oh yeah, no, I've liked most of them, if not like some of my favorite games. Tales of games.
What about Symphonia when it was re-released on Steam?
I mean, a few months later when they patched it, yeah.
Were they able to patch that? Because it was a nightmare.
Yeah, no, it runs fine now. It's locked at 30, which kind of sucks, but it runs fine.
I mean, it was made for the GameCube, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, GameCube was locked at 30, but I mean, it runs fine now. I mean, I like Symphonia enough. It's not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, to be fair.
It was an awful PC release.
So, all right. Chris, I'll let you go first. You can take the first question. This is like a courtroom. You're in the hot seat. Here it goes.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna open with the heat here. So the big theme that I saw through most of the negative reviews that I've read, and given, yes, I was only reading the negative ones. I don't know anything about it. I want to know the bad stuff before I know the good stuff.
All right.
Is that this was, I believe, $60 game?
Yep.
Okay, and it was almost like if you didn't buy the deluxe edition or the DLC, they would make it so you couldn't access a whole lot of stuff, like certain nodes. There was described paywalls and even running ads in the middle of a campfire scene, I guess. I don't know if that's a thing.
So
yeah, let's cover those separately. Those are two very important.
Those are half-truths.
Okay.
So what the DLC currently is consist of costumes for your characters and like items that are like regular items that are attainable in the game, but they give you like a surplus of them like up front to like make things a little easier. Some of it's like crafting, but it's like even if they gave you high level crafting items, you wouldn't be able to use them until you get the like actual craftable weapons and accessories. So it's
not a advantage.
Yeah, and there's no advantage to it at all other than having some starting items. Now what they're talking about with the ad in-game thing, it's not as bad as that comment makes it sound, but it is. I'm not a huge fan of it.
All right, so yes or no, are there ads when you rest at a campfire in the game single player?
No. What it's not
under oath of perjury.
It's not an ad. What it is when you go to a rest area, you have three options. You have rest, you have the option to talk to your party members, and then there's the third option, which is downloadable content. And all that does is open up the downloadable content.
Oh, okay. So
it's just a menu that accesses it. You also have that same menu.
Can you buy DLC from the camp?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's just items. It's just like.
Yeah, but if I were in the shit, like in a dungeon, right, and I had saved stupidly.
Well, no. So the way that they do that, you're not buying individual items for like 50 cents a piece. It's they're tiered things where it's like, oh, get 15 healing items, and then you redeem it in your start menu, and then that's it. It's added to your inventory, and it's no longer
the only
accessible.
difference I'm hearing there is that it's bundled.
You can only buy it once and use it once.
Oh, okay. Shit. Okay, so you can't just keep buying healing items over and over again.
Correct. It is a bundle that you redeem once on your save file, and that's it.
Okay, I was going to say, because I could see that as being like the death of good gaming at that point.
So it
would never have to scale anything properly.
it's no more or less egregious than what Devil May Cry 5 did, where you could buy red orbs, which are used to buy your like different skills and shit.
Which was shitty when they did it. I mean, it was.
But I mean, that is a DLC that I can comfortably say, if you don't like it, don't buy it.
Okay,
Because it doesn't change the game.
Let me ask you something. Another thing that I've noticed in some of these Steam reviews is that the scaling feels broken. Now, as somebody who has staunchly defended Tales of in the past, I do feel like you're a little biased, but I still want to know, do you feel like they're properly scaled? At least at 10 hours in, which isn't a lot, granted.
It depends on what that person is actually talking about, but I'm guessing they didn't actually get into it. The one major flaw when it comes to scaling in the game is the way that you pick up some of your passive abilities and some of your things, and what is kind of like a skill tree. Because what it is as you play the game, as you complete side quests and complete battles, you get a skill currency, I'll call it, called CP. You use
Your
CP.
Points,
Yeah, I think something like that. I don't actually know. I skip a lot of the tutorial stuff.
Nick skips a surprising amount of detail in role-playing games. He just doesn't find it relevant. He just wants to get to the combat for some reason.
I'm a murder hobo.
He is a murder hobo.
So, what I will say is, you do not generate enough. You don't generate enough CP for what's required to level yourself up consistently, and it's really fucking annoying. Because like, your two ways of getting CP is either through battles or through side quest. If you want to get like a little bit extra, 100 here, 200 there,
Like,
but it's like
heavy?
It's not exactly. The game is paced very well, but I'm the type of person that likes to grind, and the grind doesn't seem worth it because of how small an amount I'm getting. So it's like, every battle right now where I am in the game gives me anywhere between 6 and 15, depending on how well I do. And a side quest will give me about 100 to 200, depending on the difficulty of the quest. I need anywhere from 600 to 900
now
to get a passive ability that I want.
So
Sounds like.
Go ahead.
Oh, it just sounds like work to me.
Yeah. Well,
the game is the game is balanced in such a way where you do not have to grind to get these, and like, there's no necessity to get these abilities in your skills. It helps. There's some very useful ones, and there's other ones that unlock new abilities, but they are not required by any means. They are just slow to obtain.
Okay, so it's a what is it? When you make things better to live and just makes
Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Yeah,
Don't you hate when that happens?
Yeah, I wish that some of these costs were reduced quite a bit, because what some of these passives are things like doing a perfect dodge has a bigger window, air combos do slightly more damage, and it's little passive things like that. And then every now and then there's like new arts or new skills that you can get, and it's not that bad.
Let me ask you, before we get too bogged down, because I have heard that actually, the combat is fun. Graphics are great, very well optimized. You see that in a lot of reviews. One thing in this review in particular that I want to know about, though, and I've seen this before, is that the story is too serious and that there isn't sort of a... this person puts it really well. They say there's the lack of a mood-making character. So in other words, there's just no levity there, and that they've also removed what feels like some of the more Japanese elements from the Tales of series, like the post-battle shots. You don't feel that way at all?
So it's not that I don't feel that way at all. The first 2 hours of the story, I genuinely believe is bad. The first, it's paced poorly. it's trying very hard to get you into the meat of the content and kind of glosses over some little details.
Oh, things that might help you get into the story, things that would just.
Yeah, but it's like once you get past that first hump in the first couple of hours, I actually think the story is pretty well done. It's not an excellent story by any means. Most of the Tales of games don't have excellent stories.
Are we
They have
talking
good
about
stories.
like when you say a hump? Are we talking about like when you say a hump? Do we mean like Final Fantasy VIII hump?
No,
or-
like it asks a lot of you up front. Like it does what I hate the most in a lot of like fantasy storytelling, where you get bombarded with terms and continents and rivalries between factions, the names of these people, the names of these factions, and it's like name dropping a lot at once. And it's just like, to the point where it's like, do I need to start taking notes? Is this important? Jesus Christ. But after a couple of hours, I'd say after the first main boss, and like the world starts opening up and the story becomes much more well paced after the first boss, it's much easier to follow and it's paced way better after that point. It actually becomes a lot more enjoyable after that point.
So the characters aren't all like a stereotypical edgelord in their own right.
No, but I will say Tails always has this problem sometimes. Always has the problem.
Always sometimes has this problem. Eats Jumbo
60% of the time, it's 100.
Right.
The English
Nick, I'm going to
deliveries,
be honest with you. It smells like pure gasoline.
the English deliveries for some of the Tales games are just not very good,
No,
and
not.
the beginning of this game, the delivery is a little rough. But it does get better. I started playing on the Japanese dub because they do a lot better with the VO and like the emphasis on things and the acting and in a lot of cases like overacting in a good way, like kind of overemphasizing some things for dramatic effect. The English doesn't do that as well.
No, it loses some of the effect.
Yeah, I do think that's a genuine gripe. It's almost like watching a early 90s anime where like it's kind of weird and you see the mouth of this character is like really wide open, like they're saying something really loud, but the actual VO isn't very loud. You know what I mean? Like everything with the English VO is a little off at times. I will agree with that.
All right, but overall, you would say it's a fantastic game. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall it's like a 8.5.
Well,
so
it's
one other
86.
Yeah, one other weird criticism, and I just want to see if this is true or not because you've actually played it. Someone had mentioned that the monster character models are pretty well recycled. Like, there's only like X number of character models for the monsters, and just palette swiped maybe or something.
So yes, that is true.
Dragon Warrior style.
Well, a little bit, yeah. But Tales of has always done that.
Oh, okay.
So
part of their
that is
heritage.
Well, it is that, and some of it just makes it easier. These games don't have incredible budgets, but that is a problem that the franchise has always had, even going back to like Fantasia on the Super Nintendo and Tales of Destiny on the PS1. Like they've always had a bit of a recycling problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's very noticeable. It's always very noticeable in all of the Tales games. Some are better about it than others, but it is a problem that plagues the overall franchise, and this one isn't too much better in that regard. I'll agree with that.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I don't have any more questions for the defendant here.
Nah, man. I'm actually. It was funny because in the aftermath of that first question, you answered about 4 more questions. So
yeah.
So if you biggest thing is the in-game ads, and you say no to the in-game ads, there aren't any.
I'll turn the fucking game on.
Oh, you're gonna waffle on this one now?
Well, no, I'll show you exactly what it is. It's not that they don't exist, but I refuse to call it an ad.
Oh no,
It's literally just it's just a menu. like I'll hold on. Let me turn the game on. I'll fucking show you right now.
Is it advertising the in-game items you can buy?
No.
Okay. Then
Does
It's a fucking button.
Okay.
It's a button. That
I will
says
take your word
downloadable
for it,
content.
and that will be it for us.
No, fuck you. I'm turning it on.
Yeah, no, I'm watching this anyways. Like, I need
It's
to see
okay.
this.
We're like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
It's all right. What we'll do is we'll sit in silence and wait.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I
we
can clip it out.
definitely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have it up on Discord here if you want to look at it. Like,
No,
Yeah, I'm watching
I'm
it.
going to.
yeah. And if we want to just talk about it a little bit more, I can show up the recording I have.
Oh shit!
Look how fucking cool I look.
That is pretty badass.
It does look good. I'll give it that, man.
So, in the menu, there's a downloadable content button here.
Uh-huh.
But also, I'm gonna run over.
What happened if you hit it?
And
Don't be a
What?
bitch. Click it.
well, I mean, if I hit it, it's just gonna bring up.
I'm sorry. I'm just
Like all it does is actually bring up the downloadable content. But that's what a downloadable content menu
is that
should
what
do.
people are talking about when they say
This is it.
That's it.
Oh, so basically, what Sea of Thieves has done forever, what
every
like
game
a
has
bunch
done.
of games.
Like
Yeah, no,
It's-
dude.
Well, so what that comment is talking about, I need to run over. Well, I should be able to fast travel to an inn.
God, it's beautiful, isn't it?
It's
It
a
is
very,
beautiful
very
game.
pretty game. So what they're talking about with the resting, I'm gonna see if I can do it at an inn because resting is how you consume food for stat bonuses.
You've got some Witcher-looking swords going on. What's the deal with that?
So the black one on his back is just my regular sword, and then that fire one, if I use it, it drains my HP, but it's super strong.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Fuck, I don't know where the fucking inn is in this place, but when you rest at a fucking inn, like that same DLC menu is up. I may
I
be
need
able.
to see this.
Yes, I can fast travel here. I'll show you right here once it loads. But I guess talking about the performance, man, this game is performing excellently. It's been almost a static 60 the entire time I've played it.
Wow. That's pretty good.
So, all right, so I'm resting at a stop now. That downloadable content button is what they're talking about.
Are you responsible for
Okay.
those sunglasses?
Yes,
I'm
I'm.
a terrible human being.
Yes.
Hold on, real quick though, because
That's it?
That
okay,
helps.
that's what they're talking about. The news ticker.
Oh, that's a bit
it's
scummy.
it's the news ticker and the downloadable content button.
It's a
Yeah.
little
Like-
scummy, though. That little ticker. It's a bit
Because I mean, that was
it's-
starter packs available. Buy our shit. That's what
Yeah.
Like,
the hype is about.
does it suck that that's a norm and I don't care about it as much as I should? Yeah.
I'll-
Is it as
No.
egregious as it could be? No.
Will it stop
gonna
me
be
from playing
honest.
a game? No.
I'm
But
going to be honest. This is one of those cases where it sounded like we were drilling into someone's skull and all we were doing was poking them in the forehead. Like,
yeah.
if that makes any sense to you, because the way that they made it sound was just torturous. This giant fucking banner going across and advertisements being shoved down your throat. That
It's
if
annoying
I
enough to
wasn't
piss
just
me off,
looking
though.
for it-
And if I had to see
Well-
it every time, I think each and every time it would look larger in my mind. Until eventually it's like, motherfucker, leave me alone.
I didn't notice it. I
Also,
didn't
mind
notice
you,
it.
you're not resting at stops constant. I mean, I guess you can rest constantly, but there's nothing forcing you to.
Right, but I mean, something so minuscule like that really wasn't even that bad at all.
No, what I'm saying is I don't think it was very bad at all, but I think if I had to see it over and over and over again, each time it would appear larger subconsciously until it's
Okay.
like this massive thing that I can't avoid every time I rest. I get that.
See, and this
my-
is why I always feel like my brain is broken, because like I feel like I see that news thing and I instantly phase it out of my vision. Like,
You probably do, and
it's
a lot of
news
us
and
do.
I know I don't care about it.
Yeah, because there's no news that would actually be news. This
right.
isn't an
What news is
MMO.
popping
If-
up on my video game?
If the news ticker
Exactly.
was running, like, because I'm just running around doing side quests right now. If the news ticker was on right now, I would agree with that comment.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be intrusive as shit.
Yeah, that'd be terrible. But all right, you know what? We're gonna call it on this one. But
Yeah.
I'll give you this: it's not as bad as it looked. It really isn't. And God, it looks beautiful. I wish we could show it, but Bandai has been pretty heavy-handed with their copyright. I mean, as is their right. But you know, I'm not gonna even attempt it.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copyright
Careful
claims.
saying the B word.
We had to
Hold on.
we had to
Look at this
basically
shit.
remove our last Tales of video because they just kept claiming pieces of it. And I
No.
got sick of it. You all right there, buddy?
I can show you this like after the video, but it's